fantasy castle. Come and have a look at this. Take a polystyrene cup and tape it upside down to an ordinary piece of A4 size drawing paper, and then, I love doing this, stick your finger into the top like that and rip the whole of the bottom off your cup. And you don't have to be neat at this stage. Art attack never is it? Then take the inside cardboard tube from a kitchen roll and stuff that into your paper cup. Now you might have to press it in so it's a tight fit, and tape that into place. And then just scrunch up a paper ball, scrap paper, and put that into the top just to block it up, and again just tape that into place like that. And then take the inside from 3 loo rolls, just the cardboard tubes, and place them into position so that they're roughly halfway above your kitchen roll tube. Look at that, just halfway above there like that. Tape it into position and then do another one on the other side again so it's half of the tubes above your kitchen roll tube, and then put one on the back like that, that's slightly higher than the other 2. And now to make your pointy roofs. And the way to do that, watch this, good little tip this. Just take an ordinary A4 size piece of drawing paper and start to roll it in one corner. And as you're rolling, just turn to the right like that and roll your paper over, and it starts to roll itself into a paper cone. And then when you've got it into position, just tape it. Again, you don't have to be neat. And then cut it so that it's roughly the same height as a loo roll tube, and so it's wide enough at the bottom to fit over the loo roll tube. And bring your castle back in like that and pop it on the top, and then do another 2 for all 3 turrets, and you have something that looks like this. And tape them into position. And then to add the detail onto your castle, just take some strips of scrap paper and just twist them into shape and then bend them, one for the door, like that. It can be a little bit fiddly, so just tape it into position as you're going, and do exactly the same for the windows. Now, I've got some tape on this one. I'll just show you 1 window up there, but you can do 3. You can do as many windows as you like. And there it is, nicely taped into position. And now the good fun bit. Turn the castle to stone. And the best way to do this is to take some PVA glue, it's the ordinary white school glue that you get in the squidgy bottles, and mix it with water. 2 parts glue, 1 part water, and just paste it on to the front of your castle. And stick on some strips of either loo roll or ordinary tissue paper. And just stick it on where you've pasted, and then paste again on top. And I love doing this. It's a great technique, this. It just finishes your work off, and just stuff it in to all those cracks and creases. And you can even go down onto the base, the paper base, and that will later on strengthen up the base of your castle. Again, just pasting it on to all those nooks and crannies. And the idea is to cover the whole of your castle, all the windows, all the detail, in 2 or 3 layers of tissue paper or loo roll and PVA glue. And if you leave it to dry overnight, when it's dry, you'll have something that looks like that. Look at that. There's your castle. It's gone rock hard, and you've got this fantastic sort of stone effect. And then if you cut the base out, just cut around the outside of the base, you have a nice firm base like that, and then you can paint it. Now, you can paint it any colour you like, because it is, after all, a fantasy castle, but use poster paint or acrylic paint. And I'm just going to slosh on some grey poster paint there onto the front, just to give it that lovely stone effect. And the best thing to do is to cover it in 1 coat, a base coat, and then go in with your detail, maybe with a black permanent marker or some other colours a little later on when it's dry. And when your whole thing's done, again, if you leave that to dry overnight, when it's finished, you should have something that looks like that. Look at that. There it is. A fantasy castle. And look what I've done down here. If you just look at this detail, you've got all these bricks that I've picked out in black permanent marker. And look at that. I've even done gold pen on the knocker and the hinges. I've done the door. I've put in little bricks like that, coming up the turrets and towers here. You've got more gold pen. And I've actually painted these pointy roofs blue. And as I say, you can paint them any colour you like, because it is a fantasy castle. What about this? Terror towers. And look at that, I've done it in spooky purple with fluorescent green windows and a door, and it even looks like a face. And you know, you don't have to stop there. If you go on collecting cardboard tubes and making more towers and turrets, you can keep adding them to your castle, and eventually you'll end up with something this size. Look at that. That really is a fantasy castle, complete with little sprinkles of glitter on the roof. Try it yourself. A fantasy castle.
Hello, it's me, the head. Those look great. And it all starts with a polystyrene cup, a kitchen roll tube, and 3 toilet roll tubes. Then make paper cones for the roof and cover the whole lot with 2 or 3 layers of toilet roll and PVA glue. When it's dry, paint it. Then keep adding to it to make your dream castle. And here's mine. Well, I don't have very interesting dreams.
This'll make a great art attack.
Shake yourself.
That is very clever. He had me guessing right up to the end. Hey, I've done a picture of ice hockey. You've got to see this. Oh, I'm too much.
Have you ever noticed how many different types of clouds there are in cartoons and comic strips? They're everywhere. Well, to start with, the obvious one, weather clouds. Now, clouds up in the sky are very easy to draw. It's just a case of drawing little curved lines in a ring like that. And you can put one cloud behind the other, like that, or you can make them an irregular shape. You don't just have to do a ring. You can do them going all over the place like that. And you could even put the sun behind them, just radiating out like that. And if you want to make your clouds look even fluffier and thicker, just take a light blue pen or pencil, just draw some little curved lines along the inside of the cloud. They look nice and thick and fluffy like that. Well, it's not just weather clouds that you get in comic strips. What about some special effects clouds? Now, here's a dust cloud to start with. And you've got this dust cloud just creeping along the floor like this, little curved lines creeping along the floor, and they get bigger the further away from whatever's making the dust. Look at that. And what about some whoosh clouds? There's a whoosh cloud. Watch this. Makes it look as if the car is whooshing along. Now, here's a good tip to remember how to draw whoosh clouds. Just remember 33. Watch this. Little 3, big 3, and then a couple of whoosh lines. And there you have a whoosh cloud. Do it again. Little 3, big 3, and then you've got a whoosh cloud. Now, you also get whoosh clouds in explosions. Explosions are very easy to draw. You just draw this very crazy star shape and write inside it whatever noise it's making, bang, crash, or even wallop. And then you've got some whooshes coming out the side. Remember? Little 3, big 3. I'll draw another one in there. Little 3, big 3. And if the whooshes are going the other way, you have to draw the 33 back to front. There it is. One up there. Little 3 and a big 3. It's OK. Let's put some special effects clouds into this comic strip. There's Cowboy Tex riding across the desert on his horse. Dust absolutely everywhere. Little curved lines just creeping along the floor, getting bigger the further away from the horse they get. Lovely weather, though. There's just one cloud in the sky. Little ring of curved lines there. Tex gets very tired and he decides to stop off for a coffee break. So he lights his campfire. You get little puffs of smoke coming off the campfire, just rising into the air again, just drawing little curved lines in a ring. Very soon, he falls asleep, and his coffee pot starts to boil, and you just get whooshes of steam coming out. Little 3, big 3. There's a 33. Do another one there. Little 3, 33. There it is. Meanwhile, on the other side of the mountains, the Indians are watching the steam rising from Texas campfire. Now, as we all know, cowboys and Indians love their coffee. So all the Indians get onto their horses and go galloping across the desert towards Tex. Dust flying everywhere. Look at that, little rings just getting bigger, creeping along the floor as they get further away from the horse. Now, Tex panics. He thinks they're chasing him. So he gets onto his horse and he gallops off into the distance with a whoosh. Now, this whoosh is back to front, so you've got a little 3, big 3, another 33 back to front there, and one more down here. Watch this. Little 3, big 3. And so the Indians didn't get their coffee after all, which made them very angry. In fact, so angry, they've got whooshes of steam coming out of their ears. Look at that. And there it is. Try it yourself. Put some special effects clouds into your cartoons.
My name is Nicola and I designed the Illuminated Letter B. I painted all the detail in lots of different colours and did the background in blue.
My name's Matthew. I had an heart attack with the Illuminated Letter J.
My name is Lisa and I designed an illuminated letter. First I put it down on paper, then winked over with wax crayon. I decided to do my background in pink.
Oh, they're brilliant. Nothing like a good piece of fancy letterwork, I say, and all of that detail. And here's a good way of getting a detailed effect. If you just cut a piece of pattern paper, any type of paper that's got a pattern on it, could be wrapping paper, could be wallpaper, even a magazine photo that's got lots of detail in it, and cut yourself a piece of it, and then just draw a big block capital letter right there in the middle. Now, you could do any letter you like. You could do your initial. I'm just going to do A for Art Attack. Just make it as neat as you can. You can always neaten it up when you're cutting it out. There it is. That's my letter. And then cut it out, and you have something that looks like that. and then cut a square out of another piece of pattern paper that's just bigger than your letter. This time, a different coloured pattern paper. Or you can use a photograph. Look at that. That looks good. But it has to be a contrasting colour or design. I think that's good. Very different. So I'll use that. And then just place or stick your letter onto this square of paper and then stick that onto a piece of plain paper so that you have something that looks like that. And now the fiddly bit. Take a gold pen and then very carefully just go around the edge of your letter with the gold pen. Just very carefully following the raised edge of the letter that you cut out. And it's a good idea to cut that letter out very neatly so that you have a nice straight edge to go along. And just do it very carefully with your gold or silver pen. Silver pen would work with this. And when you've done that, go around the outside of your pattern square, like this. And don't rush it. Just doing it very carefully. And when you've done it, you've got something that looks like that. Look at that, your own illuminated letter. And you can do your own design instead of using pattern paper. Just back a patterned letter onto some ordinary paper, like that. And I've cut this A out of wallpaper. And as you can see, I've gone around it in gold pen and then around the plain piece of paper in gold pen. And then just put some geometrical designs on there. By geometrical designs, I mean straight ones. And when you've done that, just put some fancy doodle work in there, because those illuminated letters always seem to be very fancy, didn't they? Watch this. Just freehand curls in there all the way along. Maybe the same in this one. Look there. They always had curls and leaves on their illuminated letters in the old days, didn't they? Remember those big manuscripts? Maybe some stripes in there like that. And then here's another good idea. Look at this. If you take a 2p coin and just place it halfway over the edge of your square like that, and then with gold pen, just go around the outside of it, and then move it up, and do it again, and move it up again, and keep doing it, and go all the way around your square, and maybe you could even put some dots in, like that. All adds to the pattern. And when you've gone all the way round, you'll have something that looks like that. Look at that. A homemade illuminated letter. I think that's a brilliant effect, that. And what do you do with them? Well, you could stick them on the front of exercise books, or maybe on the front of a greeting card and send it to someone. And what about using it to start a piece of writing like they did in the old days? And you know what? You could also do a whole word out of illuminated letters, maybe art or even your name, and stick it on your bedroom door. Try it yourself, an illuminated letter, and I'll see you next time. Ta-ra!